Hi there. Thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by our pre-recorded session. Today, we're going to take a few minutes to walk through a case study of VMware SD-WAN and the business value and technical capabilities of the solution. Today, I have Matt Fletcher from the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute joining us today. He's the CTO of that organization, and myself, Rob Ford. I'm the VP of Solutions at Meriplex.
Thanks, Rob. So just a brief introduction about Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. We were founded in 1990 and are currently the largest orthopedic group practice in Illinois. We provide orthopedic solutions for any muscle, bone, joint injury, chronic conditions. We're multi-specialty with more than 150 physicians across those specialties. And we're expanding all the time. We're at 50 plus locations throughout the Illinois, Chicagoland area. Our primary focus is on patient-centric care, no matter what specialty and no matter what diagnosis patients see us for. We want to provide a great experience to our patients. Rob?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. A little bit about Meriplex. Meriplex is a nationwide managed technology provider. We operate in about 14 states with brick and mortar offices, and we're also expanding very quickly in terms of our footprint. We offer healthcare-centric managed IT services, as well as 24/7 NOC, SOC, and IT managed services.
Thanks, Rob. So to set this up, the situation that Illinois Bone and Joint found ourselves in, being a busy orthopedic clinic, with our previous setup prior to the VMware solutions that Meriplex helped us implement, we have very busy clinics. Our physicians, our providers, and their teams are trying to spend as much time as they can with every patient. And so whenever we had outages and issues with our ISPs, that takes away from that experience and slows them down. So we saw issues with multiple ISPs. We had old equipment, often that had single points of failure. So if something were to go down, it would require a manual intervention to, get that resolved and get the clinic back up and running. We saw often outages impacting our day-to-day operations, which takes away from the patient experience altogether. On top of that, we really didn't have any visibility into the traffic that's going over our networks. We weren't able to see what was going on at any given time. And this kind of limited our ability to both manage that traffic and actually expand and innovate on top of that. So we weren't able to go out to the different cloud providers like Azure that we wanted to with our previous solution. And ultimately what this did is it created issues really managing our providers' experience within our clinic. So we knew we had a lot of issues to work towards solving. Our existing network, as I described, was really, single threaded at every one of our sites. So each site had their own connection out to the internet, differing speeds, differing technologies based on the size of the clinic and the need of that in terms of applications. So what we found is that we were just kind of running around trying to solve these individual issues all the time, and it really took away from our ability to provide a stable environment for our providers. So what we did, we knew we had a lot of room for improvement. We first started working with Meriplex about 5 years ago across a range of areas, including the managed IT side of things, security, and advisory roles in terms of clinical services and other things like that. We found that working with Meriplex, we've been able to bring the VMware solutions to our environments efficiently. We've made a ton of progress over the last 5 years, and really what it was a strategic relationship between Meriplex and IBJI to really look at the targets, the low-hanging fruit of what we needed to solve, and go out and implement a solution like the VMware one to get us stabilized. So that was where the partnership really came into play. Rob, you want to talk about your side of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Matt. And as Matt mentioned, Meriplex is a trusted partner and technology partner of IBJI. And on the same token, Meriplex and VMware are also strategic partners. So Meriplex has a robust VMware SD-WAN practice in terms of operational delivery and as well as go-to-market. So we built an entire practice around deploying VMware SD-WAN solutions, including VMware's SD-WAN and SASE architecture. Meriplex also sits on the VMware WAN Insiders Forum, as well as aligning with VMware at the product level, right? So we do a lot of testing on new products with VMware, like new products like SD-WAN Client and some of the other newer products that VMware is working on. So we have a lot of integration with VMware across our organization, right, including operational delivery. So let's talk a little bit about the solution. Matt mentioned some of the challenges that IBJI were having in terms of connectivity, in terms of stability at the locations and application performance. And so what we wanted to do is a couple of things when we looked at the solution to solve this problem. We wanted to look at how do we bring technology to the problem to help solve a lot of the application performance problems, but also how do we stabilize the network? So one of the things we did was we brought in all new connectivity to the locations in terms of the underlying circuits. We also added redundant circuits to the locations, deployed VMware SD-WAN edges at the locations, right, to bring SD-WAN technology and VMware capabilities in terms of application performance to the solution. And we're also able to stabilize the network by doing those things, and also overlay that with 24/7 network monitoring out of the delivered by the Meriplex NOC team, right? So we took a holistic solution in terms of technology, connectivity, as well as the ability to monitor solution 24/7. And so from a network perspective, we just have a quick diagram to walk through here. Is we in terms of rolling out the SD-WAN solution, we rolled out redundant edges to key locations that Matt identified to us in the pre-sales process. We're also able to replace the connectivity, bringing in Meriplex technology carrier partners across the IBJI locations, right? So we brought all in new connectivity, and so now their end result with that was you have a more stabilized network. The uptime is increased. You're also able to really support and optimize application performance, and also support the move into Azure. One thing Matt mentioned to us in the pre-sales process is the IBJI strategy to move more into Azure. So we wanted to leverage VMware SD-WAN technology to support that move into Azure and extend the SD-WAN network into Azure. The benefit of that is the ability to control application performance from the clinics all the way to the cloud, right? Also including your cloud SaaS applications like Office 365, for example, right? So it's really holistic approach to the solution in terms of addressing the stability at the sites, supporting the applications, as well as stabilizing their entire network and streamlining the connectivity into the cloud. So a little bit about just the underlying VMware architecture, and I'll touch on this quickly, is one of the benefits of VMware SD-WAN technology is the capability in the feature set, right? So the ability to remediate packet loss, latency, and jitter, especially in an environment like we deliver designed for IBJI, where they have redundant circuits. We're able to really optimize the performance of the network, really optimize the performance of the applications, and create a more robust network, including connectivity to the SaaS applications and to the cloud workloads running in Azure. VMware also allows us to aggregate bandwidth at the edges. So at the clinics, we're able to increase bandwidth and aggregate bandwidth using the redundant connections that we delivered, right? So all in all, the technology allows us to scale, expand the network, improve uptime, improve application performance, while leveraging the benefits of the VMware SD-WAN technology in terms of the technology feature set, in terms of the ease of management, and in terms of the ability to implement controls over the applications and the network traffic to create the best network possible for IBJI.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. And so with all of that, with all the changes that we made, and going back and looking at where we had single points of failure and other items, and then implementing the VMware solution, what did that yield for us? Well, the result was really exactly what we were hoping for, right? Improved patient and employee experience. That's really the only thing that matters to us in our roles is to make sure that the patient experience is the best it can be because our employees get the experience that they need. So often, in the past, in the previous model, anytime there was an outage, it just kind of eats away at like the patient experience, because our employees are then shifting away from patient care and instead focusing on trying to fix the problem or create workarounds or things like that. So what I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting in terms of being a patient-centric organization, every decision we make goes from the patient experience and works its way back. And so this solution really has had the impact that we really wanted, which was to create stability, allow us to better bridge across like maybe a single ISP issue in the area of one of our clinics. It allows us to keep our clinic open and efficient. So that's really the biggest result and the thing that we wanted to come away with. Because of that, it obviously allows us to improve our business operations. So if I'm not out there spending time trying to figure out why a clinic is down, I can instead spend that time on where are we going from here? What other innovations should we bring to bear to make the patient experience better at IBJI? And so not only do we have a better patient and employee experience, but now we get time back in our day to focus on what's next for us instead of what's going on today. So that's been a huge benefit for IBJI as well. The visibility into our application traffic is hugely helpful. The one thing that we always lacked in the past was this objective data that says we know exactly what's going on and now we can go fix it. So with the VMware solution, with Velo, we're able to go look at a log if we're seeing slowness in one of our applications and say, oh, look, this ISP is having a lot of packet loss. There must be some degradation on that. Let's prioritize traffic over this other circuit instead and get that performance back for our employees, which is really what we want. So that's been hugely helpful. It also helps when you're working with orthopedic physicians, right? They believe data. They don't always take you at your word. So sometimes it's great to be able to point to a dashboard and say, look, we know exactly what's going on. We're addressing it. That puts them at ease and allows us to all move on with our work. So that's been hugely helpful for us. The access to our cloud-based applications, of course, we're in a cloud-hosted EMR PM environment. And so for us to, have confidence in that connection out to these other data centers is, it's critical. Without it, we really can't run our practice. So the VMware solution has been a huge help, and the implementation that Meriplex and IBJI has been very successful. And then, the final piece to that is just, feeling confident that we've got Meriplex and VMware kind of behind the scenes monitoring, looking at issues proactively, so that by the time staff are telling me, hey, there's slowness in the clinic, I'm hearing about it from the Meriplex team as well. That's hugely helpful, so we can get a jump start and not have lag time between issues being reported and the resolution. So overall, we've been very happy with the results and want to continue building on these and continue to, basically every clinic we're opening, we're going to the VMware right out of the gate, to the Velo solution, SD-WAN solution, and Meriplex and IBJI are just getting better at deploying this every day and trying to find new ways to innovate and optimize across the solution. So it's been great.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And we definitely appreciate you joining the pre-recorded session A to walk us through the case study. And thank you for everybody for stopping by the video. Have a good day.
Thank you.